let's say you have a manufacturing facility. And what I want to do is I want to understand what is the best throughput. If I bring materials into that facility and the rate at which they come out is my throughput. Now, let's say that I have a machine and each of this process, this thing that we're making goes through each of these machines. And actually we have a killer PowerPoint that Adam made I can bring up here in a minute. But let's say they have to go through these machines in order. Okay. So from one to the other, 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 to the other. Let's say that this machine goes 4 parts per hour, 4 parts per hour, 4, 2, 4, 4, 4. What would be the throughput of this system? Can somebody tell me? If you've already been through this, don't venture a guess. But if you're adventurous and you've never seen me do this before, what would be the throughput of the system per hour? How many parts would we produce per hour?
2.
2? Okay, let's go with that. What could we do with this one over here?
Add another machine.
Yep.
You got it. Yep. Run them parallel.
Yeah, you can run them parallel. Okay, I love that. Okay, and now what would our throughput be with this?
4.
It would be 4. Okay, now let's say, for instance, this is the only machine. It would be too costly to upgrade this one. We're stuck. And some of you are probably going to kill me when I say this. What if we, instead of 4, switched all of these to 2? We just slowed them down. What would our throughput be?
2.
Now, here's the big reveal. The first time when we had 4, it was actually 1.6 to 1.8 parts per hour. It's actually the slowest option. To tell all of the machines to go as fast as they can, what happens is inventory starts to stack between these two, and then workers are having to move it all over the place and having to help this machine over here get caught up, and the entire system slows down and turns into chaos. But if we were like, okay, we can get the second machine, well, great. I love that. Let's go ahead and get the second machine. But if we can't, if we're literally having people go as fast as they possibly can, then the best option is to slow everybody down. But what happens? Now the people at this tool are working at 100% capacity, at 50% capacity. They're working at 50. So they're standing around. And at the end of the day, the options are, if you actually ran this where everybody was working at full efficiency and you said the workers need to go as fast as they can, not the product, you would go a throughput of 1.6. If you got a second machine, and you would go at 4, but if you couldn't get a second machine and you slowed everyone down to 2, and these people were only at 50% capacity and standing around, probably not standing around, cleaning the tool, training, talking, collaborating the other half of the time, you would go faster than if you have everybody going at the fastest speed. So what Nicholas Modig says is we have to know our flow unit. What do we want to flow? Do we want the human being here, over here, to flow, or do we want the actual work product to flow? And what Nicholas Modig says, and when you identify your flow unit, that's what you have to flow, and statistically, that's when you'll make your money. Our workers going fast isn't what we were worried about.